What is up, Goat World? It is me, your boy JDZ, and I'm back at you again with another Goat format video. After a long delay, I finally have the top 8 deck list from the second quarter Goat Grand Prix, and man, we got some cool decks out here today. So really quickly, I'm going to go through all these decks, and I'm going to let you guys know what I think about it, and we're going to discuss the metagame in the IRL Goat format space. So with that, make sure you guys go ahead and like and subscribe as we hop on in to the top 8 deck list. Okay, so these things are taking place all over the world. If you're not familiar, the Goat Grand Prix is our IRL event. They take place all over the country, all over the world, and we've had significant events and the coverage just has been lagging and delayed, but I'm going to get those things to you guys now. There's going to be a lot of decks, so just to speed it up, if it's something that's very common or something that's very standard, we're going to kind of speed through those, and if something that's interesting, we'll stop and talk about it for a little bit longer. Like I said, there's several events, so just check the timestamps. There's going to be quite a long video, so just come back when you got some time and finish it up and see the rest of the things, or just fast forward to the decks that you want to see. Okay, so coming on in, the first stop that we made on this tour in this second quarter is going to be Goat Grand Prix in Chicago. We went over to Tabletop Game Shop in Tinley Park, and we had the top 8, and coming in at number 8, we have Sebastian Sparks playing Chaos Turbo. We got Kaikus, no Dekoichi, we got Night As, Double Jar, Double Shoot. Everything else looking pretty standard for the Chaos Turbo deck. Kaiku in the main deck, what do you guys think about that? And you're going to kind of see patterns that take place. If you look at the IRL game and look at the online game, you're going to start seeing patterns, and that's something that I did notice. Triple Wing Blast is also quite interesting in the Chaos Turbo deck. Shout out to you, Sebastian, for your top 8 finish. Okay, coming on in, we have top 8 Eladio Diaz top 8, and we're playing Chaos Turbo as well. We got Card Destruction, Double Mind, Kaiku main. We're on Decree in the side deck. You don't see that too often in Turbo. Decree and Solemn, very interesting pairing of cards. I don't know how they harmonize together, but maybe you don't bring them in for the same matchups and whatnot. And you also have the Zing Zin Hu. So this duel is not going for the back row stuff with the Dust Tornado and the Wombat as well in the side deck. You're still on Upstart. You're doing your thing. Eliado Diaz. Okay, moving on to top 8. We also have Pete Maliolo playing the Chain Burn deck. We got Reflect Bounder in the main deck, triple Chain Energy, triple Just Desserts, triple. Okay, this deck looks pretty cool. You got a conversion as well. Looks like you're going to an aggro deck. I think this is a cool deck. This is a deck that I think can shock a lot of people, catch a lot of people by surprise, especially in IRL space when they're not familiar with these types of strategies. And I'm sure just that conversion alone is going to get a lot of people off guard. So you got the double Trunade, cool deck, cool strategy. Shout out to you, Pete, for your top 8 performance. Okay, moving on, we have Josh Heshka with the top 8 performance, playing very standard, very regular Chaos Turbo. You got the Solemns, you have the Hollow Life Bearers, you got Zambira in the main deck. Huge shout out to you, Josh Hedgeka, for your top 8 performance. And then we go over to Kyle Vergantini. Whoa, one more time. Kyle Vergatini. Kyle Vergatini, and you're playing Chaos Control. No, you're playing Go Control. You're on that Go Control with that Desert Sunlight in there. You got the triple Goat, double swap, double meta. I like those ratios. Those ratios have been kind of taken off in the online space as well. You got the Abyss still in there. You got the D-Mock. You got the Zaborg. Go Control is back. Go Control is up. Desert Sunlight is a card that I'm very interested in as well, especially when you pair it with these 2 jars, man. Deck seems cool. This seems like a really cool deck. This seems like a really fun deck. Maybe this is a deck that I can see myself playing when I go to Goat Grand Prix in Orlando. We're taking place next weekend, and we have Goat Grand Prix Livonia taking place this weekend, so on Saturday. So make sure you guys get out there if you still want to play. There are several Goat Grand Prix taking place for the rest of the season, so come on out and participate. Huge shout out to you, Kyle Vergatini, with the Go Control strategy. Moving on to another top 4, we have Shakuri Edis. Man, I can't read. These nuts. No, Edis playing the Warrior strategy. Looks like you got 3 Kaiku. You're on double Blade, double Sasuke. I like seeing double Sasuke in the Warrior deck, not gonna lie. You have double Dust Tornado Jar, and in the side deck you have the 1 Kinetic, 1 Hollow Life, and you have the Token Thanksgiving. I believe that the Reasoning Gate strategy, Stein Gate strategy is very popular in the Chicago metagame, so having those cards in your side deck probably are essential and probably did some great work for Shakuri making his way to the top 4. Okay, moving on to second place, we have Darian Twig playing Chaos Turbo, and actually this is more of a Chaos Return. Look, got a little Return Splash in there. Triple Jar of Greed. Got the Zaborg. I love seeing Zaborg in these Turbo decks. That's something that is a linchpin of IRL operations. You don't really see that too much online these days, but Zaborg in the main deck for online IRL is something that happens a lot. Triple Kinetic is another thing you see very heavily done in the IRL space, but it must have worked out pretty great for Darian Twig as they pushed it all the way to a second place finish. Love to see it. And taking over over first place. We have the duelist Nolan Benson playing the Reasoning Gate strategy. Shout out to Nolan Benson for coming in clutch, knocking this thing out, winning the PS5, doing his thing, playing the Reasoning Gate. And Reasoning Gate, this is another signature win. This deck has been doing actually quite well this season, much better than it has done in the past. So I think Reason to Gate actually is quite back, and maybe even this type of Reason to Gate with the Toon Cannon Soldiers. You have the Jar of Greed, very similar to what a Nasty Beast used in the Clash of Champions and what Delinquent tried last year. You know, this is something that I think the Reason to Gate players are doing when they're playing this standard style Reason to Gate. Not as much the grind stuff, but more along the OTK stuff. So that is going to wrap up GGP Chicago. Huge shout out to everyone who played, especially Nolan Benson for winning that thing, and huge shout out to the Tingley Park staff for hooking it up, man, and doing a great tournament and just being chill and being flexible, you know, working with us and being patient with everything that was going down. So thank you guys for having a cool tournament, and hopefully you guys continue to have more GGPs. So then after leaving Chicago, we flew all the way to New England out there in Connecticut and had Goat Grand Prix in Connecticut. And here are the top 8 deck lists from that event. Coming in at number 8, we got the duelist Scott Harris playing Chaos Turbo. You're going to rock Chaos Turbo, and you're doing it with triple Regeki Break card destruction situations. I believe online you know this duelist as J Harris 88. Okay, rocking the Chaos Turbo strategy. Got double Kaiku, triple Zombira in the side deck. Everything else seems super standard. Congratulations for your top 8 performance in Goat Grand Prix New England. This event was stacked, man. They had a lot of players out there showing up for Goat Grand Prix New England, and you gotta come with it if you're gonna play in that type of field. And playing Chaos Turbo seems to be the wave. As top 8, we're moving on to Edwin Malave, who is playing Chaos Turbo as well. But you got double Minecon, you got double Jar, double Shoot. You got double Solemn Judgment in the side deck. You got Jinzo sitting in the side deck. You got that one Book of Moon in the main deck, and that's going to be good enough to get you to a top 8 finish. Okay, moving on. Continue on with the top 8. We got Zachary Kekak, a.k.a. the Wayfarer, a.k.a. Ultra Instinct's finest, playing this really cool Chaos Turbo deck, but you shake it up a little bit. You got the D-Mock in there. You have the Cyber Jar in there. You have the Dimension Fusion technology in there. I know this duelist personally, and I know they've been working on this deck for a very long time, and we're very excited to take this thing out to Goat Grand Prix New England, and to get a top 8 performance with it is super validating because I know how much work they put into making this strategy viable. One Night Assailant in the main deck, I think that's pretty cool, but you got the card destruction. Anytime I see card destruction, I want to go double Night Ass just for greed's sake, but you do have a payoff with that D-Mock, and you do have a payoff with that Dimension Fusion as well. If you can get that bad boy banished, Dimension Fusion could just go over the top. So you found a way to kind of tech that thing in your own situation. Triple Kaiku, double Zombira in the side deck with Sakuretsu armors galore. Love the deck, love to see it, love the duelist. So huge shout out to you, Wayfarer, and congratulations on your top 8 performance. Moving on, we got the fan favorite. We have the legendary duelist LeBounty was at this tournament as well, making another top 8 performance. Still has not qualified for the Go Format World Championship just yet, but is on his way to do it, playing the standard warrior deck. Kind of changed it up a little bit. No Magician of Faith is going to be in the main deck, but you are going to keep that mind control in the main deck. Very interesting technique in the main deck. Minecon, just to take those chaos monsters out, deny your opponent those flips, is still a good card. It will neg a lot probably in that game 1, but it also can absolutely break your opponent wide open most of the time, and I think that's pretty cool. This duelist playing it, so it must be good. Double Dust Tornado, double Jar of Greed, double Dust Shoot, double Saku, triple Solemn Morphing Jar is in the side deck. Now that's something that's super duper interesting as well, and I know that this duelist kind of sets a tone for what the warrior strategy is going to be doing. So seeing him playing Morphing Jar in the side deck might be time to put Morphing Jar in your side deck if you're playing warriors, and I think it's really good. They'll never see it coming. You're going to get behind in card advantage, and it could just even the playing field for you. And once you get behind and then you can get back even, chances are your opponents used all their good nutrients, and then you can just kind of stabilize and then maybe take over the game with a nice sneaky and cheeky Morphing Jar, especially going second. I think it's a super cool card. Another Shoot in the side deck, and the Amazoness Archer is going to complete the side. Everything else seems pretty cool. BrainCon still going to be in the side deck. Huge shout out to you, LeBounty. I'm sure you're going to make the Worlds this year if you just keep the grind alive, and congratulations on your top 8 performance as well. Going on into the top 4, we have Insidious, who's been playing the exact same deck card for card basically all season. You guys have seen it, you guys know it. Book of Moon in the main deck, Card D in the main deck, keeping it rocking, keeping it rolling, doing his thing. Congrats on the top 4. Then we go on to Jonathan Gleason, aka Barcode, playing the Barcode Go Control deck, looking cool, looking spicy with the Air Knight Parshev. Every time I see the Pony Boy in a topping deck list still in 2024, almost going into 2025, seems insane. And you got Jinzo in there, so this deck is straight up blast from the past out here. You got triple Magician of Faith, just double Mrs. Tomato, just really hammering people with the 2005 technique. Triple Goat, double Meta, double creature swap technique. Love to see it. Spirit Reaper in the main deck. You got the Karibo in the side deck. You got the triple shoot coming in the side deck as well, along with double decree. So huge shout out to Jonathan Gleason. I like this deck too. Straight up classic bread and butter Go Control 2005 activity, and you love to see it. Getting top performance still. Wish you could have won. Okay, moving on to number 2. We got Carl Waite back at it again, trying to get this thing cracking, playing the very standard Chaos Turbo deck. You got triple Regeki Break as well. You're going to side into the Chaos Control type stuff, triple Goat, double meta. You got Sakus, you got Zombiras doing your thing, absolutely getting after it. Kaiku and Suk, you're at 21 monsters in your Chaos Turbo deck. Don't hate to see it. Love what you do, rocking and rolling. Welcome back to the GOAT world. Carl Waite. Okay, and coming in first place. Now this one is crazy. This one, if you're fast forwarding through this video, make sure you at least slow down at this one when you see the winning deck list for this tournament. It is so bizarre. It is so ridiculous. I don't know how this happened. I don't know what went down, but here is your first place deck. You are not, your screen might have to adjust, but Daniel Rose showed up to this tournament and won this bad boy with a 44 card Chaos Go Control, whatever the hell you want to call this deck. That's what won this tournament. And this is not like some kind of plumber convention. This tournament had some very elite top players in this thing, and this duelist showed up with this deck and freaking went the distance with it. First place finish with a Black Lizard Soldier, triple Chaos Sorcerer, Air Knight, Parshath, Jinzo is in the main deck. So you got Air Knight and Jinzo, triple Chaos Sorcerer, Don's a Lug. Okay, no Rhoda, just Don, one Night Assailant. For the only 2 flip effects that are in this deck are 2 Magicians of Faith. You got 2 Magicians of Faith and 1 Night Assailant, and an Air Knight and an Assura Priest and a Tsukiyomi and a Tribe and 44 cards. And you won this tournament. Freaking what? Okay, this happened in the real world, in the real time. And then if you go to the side deck, it gets better because you got double bottomless. You got a Mind Crush in there. Mind Crush with 1 shoot is hilarious. You got the Reckless Greed for whatever reason. You got the Dust Tornadoes. You got the freaking, you just got it all. You got the Royal Decrees in there. You got the 1 Mobius. You got the 1 Mystic Sword level 2. No Rhodas at all. You're just out here thugging it in the free world with the 1 Mystic Tomato to get the 1 Spirit Reaper, to get the 1 Dawn. Maybe it's just like one of those chaos things. Like people just don't know what the hell you got because your deck is just doing so much. Like it's doing so much. How does it even work? I don't know. Like, do you take your knocks out? Do you keep them in? I'm taking mine out. If I'm playing this deck, I'm probably going to take my knocks out. If I see the Kaikus and I see the Dawn, I see the DD Warrior Lady, I see triple Chaos Sorcerer. I don't know what the hell to do, and that probably was just enough for this duelist to push it on to the victory, I guess. Got the 1 Book of Moon, 44 cards is just hilarious, man. It's just hilarious. But huge shout out to you, Daniel Rose. I'm not taking nothing away from you. You came out, you did your thing, and you got to the absolute dub, and you beat some of the game's greatest players in the process, man. A lot of top tier duelists were there, and you won with this 44 card monstrosity. I'm gonna have to load this thing and try on the ladder, man. Get into the comment section, tell me what you think about this deck as we're hopping on over to the next Goat Grand Prix. We're gonna hop on over. So after this event, after Goat Grand Prix Chicago, we hopped on a plane and flew all the way across the sea. We went to Athens, Greece, and we had Goat Grand Prix Athens. There's gonna be another Goat Grand Prix in Athens again, taking place in September. So if you're in that area, or if you find yourself wanting to play some GOAT format, I know GOAT format has a rich history in Greece. There's a lot of players that are latent who don't really play too much online, but they can find their way back, and maybe you can come to Goat Grand Prix in Athens. And we got top 8 deck lists coming in. At top 8, we have Viriros. Man, I'm about to slaughter these names. We got Viriros blend is very standard, very regular, looking exactly like, a Chaos Turbo deck is going to look. And it's the best deck, so people are going to play, and it's really not a lot of wiggle room you can make. So you just kind of have to show it. It's standard, it's classic, Swords is cool, and huge shout out to you for your top 8 performance. Moving on, we have Stavros Vus is playing very standard, very regular Chaos Turbo as well. I think it's the exact same deck, card for card. Did I mess that up? No, it's got the United We Stand in there, and that's pretty much it. Everything else is the exact same deck, card for card, doing your thing. Stavros Vus playing the Chaos Turbo deck. And coming in at another top 8, we have Marvin, who plays online a lot and plays a very similar deck to what you see on your screen. You got the double Abyss Soldier Warrior deck. You got the Sinister Serpent in there. You got the Sangan in there. You got the double Kaiku with the 1 Magician of Faith. And this deck is cool. You got the Rhodas. You got the 1 Book. You have the Sakus. You got the Solemns. You know what I'm saying? 1 does shoot. That's a trend that I'm seeing kind of picking up a little bit of steam. People aren't really going max shoot maybe, and it's dead most of the time. When it's good, it's really good. When it's bad, it's horrible. Terrible top deck late. When you guys are in the top deck war, you'd hate to see that trap dead shoot, so maybe that might have something to do with it, as this duelist is only playing 2 of those cards. In the side deck, you got double Mobius Brain. You got Tsukiyomi is also going to be in the side deck, which is pretty cool to see. You have the bottomless trap hole technology. I know this duel is big on that. Love to see it. Cool deck from Marvin in the top 8. Then we're going on to another top 8. We got Geronimo. So all of the Greek players are here in the building, representing very well from the online into the Greek IRL scene, and that's really cool to see as you're playing very standard, very regular Chaos Turbo deck. You have the Hollowed Life Barrier, you have the Mobius as well, you have Spirit Reaper, Double Minecon in the side deck. Everything else seems pretty regular. And then we have top 4. We have Nessa Poliata, who is playing the burn strategy. Nessa Poliata actually shot like a little vlog. Maybe I can put that into this video so you guys can kind of see, you can get a kind of idea of what these duelists look like and what they got going on. I'll play it.
Οι μεγαλύτεροι μονομάχοι βρίσκονται εντός του gaming και ο Πανελλήνιος έτοιμος στις σκέψεις του.
Χαρήκατε. Μπράβο, παιδί μου, συγχαρητήρια. Μπράβο, επιτέλους.
Παρού εδώ πέρα, έτοιμος να πανηγυρίσει στην Ευρωλίγκα όμως. Όχι, τέλειο.
Δεν είμαι ο καλύτερος παίκτης.
Πρώτος, μια δήλωση.
Όχι ακόμα, μετά τον τελικό, όποιος κερδίσει θα το κάνει.
Εγώ δεν είμαι καν στο top 5 πλέον. Δεν είμαι καλός παίκτης.
Παρού, Παπαντονίου. Τέλειο σχέδιο. Ένα νέο άτομο που δεν γνωρίζει. Δεν είναι καθόλου νέος, είναι ο Πανελλήνιος πρωταθλητής του 2004. Τρώνε τα σουβλάκια του.
Μόλις έχει χάσει. Οπότε εσύ έχεις το πλεονέκτημα ότι κερδίζεις. Πρώτα γύρω. Ναι, και κερδίζεις και κερδίζεις και κερδίζεις.
Είμαστε έτοιμοι να μας δίνει το GGP. Φοβερή 30.
Τζάμα τρίοδο.
Ο Τζάμα 3. Ο Τζάμα 2.
Σηκώσαμε κούπα χθες.
Και πάμε και σήμερα. Ο καλύτερος φορμαρισμένος Έλληνας παίχτης. Εγώ είμαι αυτό. Ο καλύτερος μας παίχτης. Νούμερο 1 Earth Agro Player.
Εδώ είναι ο καλύτερος παίκτης. Ναι, ο καλύτερος Τέντισον, ναι, και
Έντισον, ναι, γιατί ότι ήρθε τώρα να μεταλάβω γκόλεμ του.
Και είναι πιο φορμαρισμένο.
Το βρήκε.
Και ναι, έχουμε και τον Μάρβιν.
Τον έφταξε.
Ο top.
Είπα να καταφέρετε. Για το σκόσο.
Έχουμε εδώ και τον μεγάλο ελμάγκο του The Doom. Trust the gears. Το τέλειο σχέδιο εμφανίστηκε. Φοβερές χειραψίες. Μετά να δούμε που θα βγουν τα μαχαίρια.
Πάω να κοτορίσω.
Ναι, μεγάλη εμφάνιση. Είμαστε Δουρού, ο μεγάλος playmat creator. Maker. Μέρα εδώ custom playmats. Δεύτερος Έλληνας παίχτης που πλησίασε την πρόκριση. Και εδώ εμφανίζεται ο καλύτερος Έλληνας παίχτης. Τρεις συνεχόμενες φορές παγκόσμιος μας κλείνει και την πόρτα.
So you guys can kind of see what's happening here. Shout out to Nessa Pauliata, who kind of did a lot of work putting this thing together behind the scenes. So huge shout out to you, and huge shout out for your top 4 finish as well. And playing Burn, I think, is really cool in this climate. Burn has kind of been on the downtrend big time, but it still can show up and it still can win, especially IRL. You got a very interesting side deck going on too, just more cool cards you can play. Reckless Greed is very interesting to see. I like seeing Big Bang Shot as well. That's a cool card, especially with a lot of Spirit Reapers that you have seen in recent times. And the Nomen Crossout is going to be in the side deck as well. Cool. Huge shout out to you, Nessa Poliata, for a top 4 finish, and back-to-back burn decks for the top 3 and 4. Very cool to see that take place, as Maru 13, who I think is one of the best Greek players. I would say he's had a lot of top performances, a lot of wins, a lot of invitations to Goat Format World Championship from Maru 13, playing another burn deck very similar to the one that you just seen on your screen. But you got the the Magic Drain is going to be teched in there. You still got that one Karibo in there. You have your own full floodgates, which is cool. You got the Ceasefire in the main deck, and the Dez Koala, which I think is a very strong card for burn in this metagame with all the Turbo and Thunder Dragons around. Huge shout out to you, Maru 13, and keep rocking and rolling. Moving on to second place, we got Zogler playing standard regular Chaos Turbo. Love to see it. Just trying to get the dub, trying to get the win. This is the deck you want to play. I don't see any movement in the main deck at all. Very, very locked in, laser focused. And in the side deck, just super basic Betty. Super regular coming in from the Zogs. Shout out to the Zogs though. I love the Zog. I love the support that he gives to the channel and to the online space. He's a big contributor to the online community. And thank you for doing that. And The deck is the deck. It's going to be what it is. All right. So, and coming in at first place. So this is another huge signature win for the Earth strategy. We mentioned this when I was talking about Earth Week. I know it's been a really long time since this happened, but seeing Earth aggro come in and get an Earth dub for the, it's been making some top performances, but it always kind of bogs out at maybe top 4, top 6, whatever, and it just can't really push it over the top. But Evans GR was able to make it to the promised land. You're on triple shoot still. You have the double DD assailant situation. You back on rats. You have the Magician of Faith Kaiku, so it's similar to what Shifty did in the Go Format World Championship. Everything else seems super standard. You also have the Token Thanksgiving, which is a cool card in time, especially one walk. I think it is very, very dope. Super solid deck. I love Earth, and I love to see where Earth can go. As we talked about during Earth Week, maybe this thing is not done. I think Earth is not finished. Who knows what the future of Earth holds. But huge shout out to Evans GR, and hopefully we can get that prizing thing figured out. I think there were some issues with shipping, and we're going to get that thing sorted at some point, I'm sure. But thank you for playing, and thank you for coming out and getting the dub in Goat Grand Prix in Athens. Okay, we're almost done. We are halfway done. So if you're interested in the halfway, make sure you guys go ahead and like this video, man. It's gonna be a really long video, I know, and I'm kind of just going through these things super quick. Like I said, just go to the timestamp that you want. I have them all placed down below, and you can kind of see the idea. Maybe slow it down a little bit, and I'll also have these deck lists up on the website as soon as I get a little bit more time. But we're in Detroit now. After we leave Athens, Greece, we fly all the way to Goat Grand Prix in Detroit, and here we have the top 8 deck list coming in. We have Handsome West, West 95, Canadian West is going to be rocking Chaos Turbo, main deck Minecon, triple dust shoot, 1 jar. Legendary Jiu-Jitsu Master doing his thing. That's a little bit of spice. Braincon's a little bit of spice, and we have the Interdimensional Matter Transporter and the Threatening Roar. So that's a very interesting technique we have here. I love seeing a little bit of spice. I think this card is good, man. I really do. People hate me for saying that, but I think it's on par with a Book of Moon. I think it's that. It can be a game breaking kind of card. It can stop tribes. It can stop the chaos stuff. Protect your chaos monster, protect your 1,000 hours restrict, and the like. It can do some cool stuff, man. Protect from Snatch Steal. I think this card is definitely playable, and I like to see West out here trying to get spicy at least, and it was good enough to make it to a top 8 performance. And I know this field was very stacked. Shout out to Game Time, shout out to DJ and everyone over there, all the great things they're doing for Go Format. So I can't say enough about it, and I know how tough the competition is at this tournament in particular. So to have a card, and maybe that tech worked out, or maybe it just bricked and made him lose a couple games, who knows, but I still think it's good enough to be played, and I'm glad to see the dual skin out there giving it a shot. So huge shout out to you, West. Moving on, we go to another top 8 deck. We got Tigros playing the Zombie Earth. So we got Earth Zombies with this Book of Life package with just a very small zombie core. I don't know if I like that too much. Maybe you can lower one of these Book of Lives, because I'm sure those things are going to be dead more often than they're not, just based on the nature of how these decks work. But you are playing that Morphing Jar, so that could kind of help facilitate some of that stuff. When those Ryukokis are bricked into your hand, you can Morphing Jar, send them to the GY, draw into your Book of Life, play it. That could be energy right there. I like that. That's actually quite cool. Main deck Morphing Jar. You have the double Pyramid Turtle, double Koki. You have the Spirit Reaper. You got Rats and DD Assailant. So that's a pretty cool deck, man. Actually, Earth Zombies is pretty cool. The side deck, I think you only had a 14 card side deck, it looked like. You have the double King Tiger, the Neko main King, very IRL, very cool. You have the Ceasefire, and you have the Assure Prix. Man, I think you could have cut those for something better. I don't know how effective Empty Jar is, but I don't know how good that card is. Maybe there could be better cards that you can fill those slots that can at least help with the Empty Jar stuff if that you're afraid of, but also cover other matchups, because Neko Mane King really isn't doing anything against anyone else. I don't know if it's good enough to be played. It is a level 1, but you're not playing meta, so I still don't know how good that is. Creature Swap, pretty chill. Cool deck, cool stuff. I love to see what you got going on here. T Gross, as you got a top 8 performance with this cool Zombie Earth deck. We got McGarrett playing very standard, very regular Chaos Turbo, but you got a little bit of conversion here, a little bit. You got these Apprentice Magicians in the side with a little bit of old vindictive little technique. That's pretty neat, with the Regeki break on them in the side deck and another trap to shoot. That's pretty cool. Kind of a little change of pace cuff stuff. They may not see it coming. They may be going mind control heavy post side. You can put those Apprentice Magician, they'll just absorb those things. So that's a really cool little strategy that you got going on there. As you got everything else seems pretty standard, pretty regular. Huge shout out to you, McGarrett. Maybe you can get the dub on the next one. Who knows? I know this duel is going to be in Goat Grand Prix in Livonia. Make sure you guys get over there. Signups for that event are still open. As we're going to go ahead and kick it on to the next top 8, we got another Earth deck looking very similar to what Evans GR had going on there, but you got Berserker Gorillas are going to be in the main deck, which is very cool. Love seeing that bad boy enjoy being played. You have the double Goblin Attack Force, triple DD Assailant, 1 Kaiku in the main deck, no Magician of Faith for you. Injection obviously is going to be there. Triple Dust, double Smasher, triple Wengu, double Compulsory in the side. Compulsory is a very good card in the side deck of this deck, protect against the control stuff. But I think it's a cool deck. Obviously Earth, I'm high on Earth. I'm big on Earth. I'm big Earth. I love to see it. And I like to see this deck have top performances, especially in a very stacked field. And we're going to move on to the top 4. Shout out to this duelist, Toledo Will. I believe this duelist is what his moniker is called. Toledo Will playing the Toledo Special Chaos Turbo deck. Triple Jar, double Wing Blast, double Dust Shoot, double Kaiku in the main deck. And what's cool about this duelist is that they're very young. This duelist is maybe 12 or 13 years old. So I think that's really extremely cool, because I believe that this duelist is the future of GOAT format. And I love seeing the younger generation come on in and embrace this game, and not only embrace it, play well, have great performances, have great success, and then still, you know, just showing that the game can still grow with this next generation. They play very well. Like I said, this locals that they go to and this shop that they play at, they have a lot of homegrown talent, and I know this duelist is able to play with some of the best players all the time, so they're able to get very good very quick, and it's obviously going to showcase some of their dueling chops as they got a top 4 finish and made it to the cash prize on this thing. We did a watch party on this tournament, so go check that vlog out. I'll link it down in the description as well, so you guys can go look at it. But this duel was playing out of his mind. The deck was absolutely moving around the dueling arena. You got another Kaiku in the side deck, triple Kinetic. You see that again, triple Walk, triple Saku. Just keep it, max it out. You know, very consistent looking side deck with the Mystic Sword level 2 and the Assure Priest in there. Love to see it. Huge shout out to you, Toledo Will. Huge shout out to you for your top 4 performance, and keep dueling, man. Maybe you can win. Maybe you can go to Worlds sometime. Maybe the youngest major winner in GOAT format history or something like that. Who knows? Who knows? But shout out to you and keep dueling. Okay, moving on. Continue on with top 4. We got Miguel A playing Warriors. We got them bulky Warriors. We got triple Blade. People been cutting down Blades. We got triple Kaiku. People been cutting Kaiku. You're like, no. I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to keep it moving. I'm maxing my guys. And you're going to rock and roll with the Gravekeeper Spy in the main deck. I still like that. I still think that's cool. People are kind of getting away from the GK Spy stuff, but it's one of the best cards in the entire format. So you might as well just play it when you can. You set it. It gets knocked, they lose theirs, you can probably win those games most of the time. Also, if they don't, you flip it. You got maximum pressure coming downhill. Love to see it. I think it's cool little technique. I don't know why people got away from that, but it worked out for Miguel all the way to a top 4 finish. Again, triple Kinetic in the side deck. They're really going after these Warriors with these triple Kinetic side decks. You know, I don't know what that's all about, but you've seen it multiple times in multiple side decks in the IRL space. Maybe people just really hate Warriors and they really want to send it to them, and it's probably proven to be effective. You have the Tsukiyomi, another card you're seeing pop up more in these side decks in the IRL space, as we're just looking at trends, as Smashing Ground and Sakuretsu Armor are also going to be deployed. Huge shout out to you, Miguel, for your top 4. Moving on, we got Shane Dawson, who got second place. Shout out to Shane Dawson. They found their way into the online space, playing in the online circuit, playing this playing this aggro warrior deck, a little bit of thunderclap experience in there. There's a board going to be in there. You have the Goblin Attack Force going to be in there. You're back on double Blade, double Kaiku, kind of what I just mentioned earlier. And then you have the triple shoot. The side deck kind of gets experimental a little bit. You got the Assure Priest Big Bang. Love that little combination of cards. You have the King Tiger as well with double Spy and Cliff and Mobius. You have the Giant Trinade as well. This card is cool, especially when you pair it with the Big Bang shot. Love to see that combination go off. It's always going to be a vibe when that happens. Ceasefire for time as well, and you have another widespread, the Ruin. Love to see that too. You got double Saku, one widespread. You can throw them off. They'll never know. They'll never know how many battle traps that you have available to yourself. Huge shout out to you, Shane Dawson, for your second place finish, and thanks for coming on in and playing online. I think he had some online top performance as well in the past couple of months, so I think that's really cool to see that translation happen all the ways. And coming in at first place, no surprise, fan favorite and long-standing fantastic duelist AJT BLS wins another GOAT Grand Prix as he takes it down with this Chaos Turbo deck. Very standard to what he's been playing, maybe around that time period. Maybe he's changed up the recipe a little bit. Kaiku Tsukiyomi in the main deck, Minecon in the main deck. We have the Trap Dust Shoot, and Wing Blast for this event. We got the patent pending Berserker Gorilla is going to be in the side deck, and the patent pending Jinzo Call is going to be in the side deck. AJT wins another one, takes it down, and is qualified for the GOAT Format World Championship by winning another GOAT Grand Prix in Detroit. I know this duelist is going to be in Livonia as well, so if you want to meet him, get over there and participate in GOAT Grand Prix in Livonia, taking place this weekend, Saturday. Yeah, taking place this Saturday, so make sure you guys get out there and participate. So that is going to wrap up GOAT Grand Prix in Detroit. After Detroit, we flew all the way back to Europe again and went to GOAT Grand Prix in Halle in Germany. Welcome, greetings from Germany, as we have the top 8 deck lists from that tournament. Before I get into this, I want to give a huge shout out to everyone who had any help in making that event go down. Huge shout out to Grumple. Huge shout out to Return Winner, who provided some fantastic commentary for that tournament. This VOD is up and available on this channel. Go back and check that out. Return Winner and everyone who came by the booth. I don't remember everyone's name at this time, but a lot of people came by and helped out. Return Winner was going crazy in the commentary booth, and it was a very, very, very well tournament. It's one of the best GOAT Grand Prix I think I can remember seeing taking place. It was very smooth, and it just seemed so professional, man. So huge shout out to all those duelists who participated in that and made this thing a treat. And huge shout out to German Goats in general, because German Goats has been like growing like crazy and is truly becoming the epicenter of GOAT format in the world. You know, we got Italy is always going to be steadfast, but Germany is quickly growing to the GOAT format headquarters. So I'm interested to see where that's going to go. And with people like Return Winner and Grumpelstiltskin and all the great German duelists, I think it can only continue to go up. So I want to make sure I give those guys a special shout out and thank you so much for everything that you guys have done for GOAT format in Germany specifically. All right, but moving on, so make sure you guys get over there and subscribe to the Return Winner's channel. I'll make sure I link that down in the description as well, and go check out the rest of that stream if you guys miss it, because it was a great tournament. But with that, we're going to go ahead and do the top 8 deck list, and I have right now I have top 8. We got Nico T. Nico T is playing, I don't even know what to classify this deck as. Like, I can't even call it. It's going to be, he's playing Highlander. This is a Highlander deck. This is crazy. This is nuts. Okay. Because I think it's really cool. And this is why I kind of like IRL more than online, because online you'll rarely see a deck like this be played, let alone have success, because online is just so meted out, it's so fine-tuned. But IRL, there's still going to be opportunities to play deck like this, because you're still going to be constrained and limited by the cards that you have available to yourself. Everyone doesn't have access to the entire card pool, and these might be the cards that this duelist had at that time, and you're going to load them up and you're going to just play them. And it worked out, because you got Magical Merchant, Double Faith, you have the DD Assailant. I think it's a warrior deck. I think I would call this a warrior deck, but it's like a Highlander deck. You're out here straight Highlander mode, and it worked out to a top 8 finish. And this was not a small tournament. This tournament was huge. There were like over, I believe it was like 91 people, over 90, maybe 100 players at this tournament. So it wasn't like just a small little thing, like a little local. It was a huge tournament for by GOAT format standard. And you show up with this deck, got one Mask of Darkness in there. You got the Tsukiyomi situation, so you can kind of get a loop going. Got the Magical Merchant, Magician of Faith, the Koichi. So it's like a flip warrior deck, I guess we can call this, with a little bit of Zaborg in there and BLS. And it's going to be good enough to get maximum dubs with the one Sakuretsu armor in the main deck. That is just so funny. One jar. You got so many one-ofs. Double book is funny as hell too. This deck seems cool. I bet it can beat somebody. I bet you can lose to this easily. You have the Swarm of Scarabs in the side deck, which is dope as hell. You have the Mystic Swords level 2s, double deucer, dope as hell. You have the double Regeki break in the side, very dope, very cool. One Trap Death Shoot in the side. You have the damn Jinzo in the side. You have the Judgment of Anubis, very cool. I mean, you just got it. You just got it like that, and you're gonna rock with it. I love to see it, man. I love the expression, and this looks like a cool deck. And I bet this dude had a time of his life crushing with this thing. So love to see it. I love to see it. This is an individual thing. You'll never see another deck like this, and this is why I like this format a lot, for stuff like this, even though it doesn't happen that often. But when it does, I think it's really cool. All right, so huge shout out to you, Nico T, for rocking your own flavor and making it to a top performance, as we just shift gears back to the most regular standard vision that you've seen. We got Triple Jar, Triple Shoot is going to be in the main deck. We got the card destruction. You only have 19 monsters, so you have no Tsukiyomi in your main deck, and you're only playing the double Koichi. No, you got Knighted Asses in there too. Okay, very cool. You got Skill Dark Magician is going to find his way in over the Zumbira. I actually like that. You have Tsukiyomi again, another trend I think is picking up steam. I don't know who started this trend, but Tsukiyomi in the side deck, just put it in there. It beats Warriors. It can help reset your flips. I think it's cool. Why the hell not? And then you got the Sakuretsu Armors and the Ceasefire and the Triple Mind Control. All right, huge shout out to you, Luca. For the top 8 performance, we have Johannes W, and you got the spice as well. Oh my goodness, dude! I haven't taken the time to really look at these decks. I just kind of threw this thing together really quickly. But man, oh man, this deck is cool as hell too. Holly's going in, dude. These decks are pretty damn cool. As you're playing freaking Apprentice Soul Control right here, but you also have the Petin the Dark Clown, which hopefully they ruled this thing right, because this thing misses timing so badly. And you're playing the old Vindictive Magician package with the Magician of Faith stuff, so you can Apprentice Magician into Magician of Faith, into Flip, Get Back, Brain Con, Tribute for whatever, and you're rocking and rolling, man. Cool. You got Genzo in there as well, Mobius in the main deck, no BLS, Assure Priest, doing your thing, Soul Exchange, triple. You got double brain, and then in the side deck, once you thought the spice was out, we're going to convert. We got a freaking Necro Valley situation happening here, and BLS is also going to be in the side deck. So when they don't think the BLS is coming, or they're taking their knocks out, maybe you can just boom blast them with BLS, or you can blast them with Necro Valley. I think that's cool. I think it's cool stuff. Cool stuff we got going on here. I don't hate it. I love to see this kind of creativity. I think it's fun. I think it's something that somebody said, I have these cards, I'm gonna try it out, and to have that kind of work with the top 8 performance, I think is very, very neat. So huge shout out to you, Johannes W, for playing Petin the Dark Clown Monarchs, dude. Out here straight up soul controlling. Love to see it, man. Soul control might be back. I don't know. Might be back. And just like I was talking about, we got top 8. We got Brochin is playing Empty Jar. I was just mentioning how Empty Jar isn't a thing. This is definitely a thing, and it's definitely happening, as Empty Jar made all the way to the top 8. And it seems like a cool version of Empty Jar. Everything seems nice. Got the 1 reload. I don't hate, or 2 reloads. Never mind. I hate reload. I just never been a fan of reload. I know this deck kind of needs to play it, but maybe they can play this deck without playing reload. It's got to be a better card. I just cannot stand reload, but whatever, it is what it is. And the one called Haunted, but you can also convert your side into, it looks like you can play Ron, or you can play a standard Chaos Turbo with the side conversion based on how you want to do it, based on your matchup, maybe going first, maybe going against a matchup that Turbo is just going to be better than. You can kind of put these in. Still no Ring. I think Ring is a card you probably want to put in as well. Maybe you can fit, I don't know what you would cut. I'll even cut the Reaper, maybe put Ring of Destruction in there, because I think the card is too good. If you're going to play more of a regular game, put Ring in. I think you get a little bit of value out of that. But still cool stuff. Love to see it. Innovation all around in the top 8 from Brochin with the Empty Jar conversion deck. Okay, moving on, we have Escarota, again, I think this duelist actually had top performance in Osnabrück, the previous Q1 Goat Grand Prix. Back at it again with another top performance, playing the Stein Gate. We're playing Stein Gate. We're trusting the gears with the Machine Gate, but you're playing 1 Stein, 1 Cannon Soldier. Absolutely getting after it. No last wheels or anything like that. You got the double Wabaku in the main deck with the Jar of Greeds and the triple lemon removal. This deck is cool as hell. The gears comes out and the gears gets dubs. That's what the gears can do. And we got enemy control in there. We got a Blowback Dragon. I'll never play Blowback Dragon again. That dude has betrayed me too many times. I used to love Blowback Dragon, but it probably worked great for Escarota here, but it never works great for me, so I always feel bad about it. But side deck, you got looks like you just got some stuff for Warriors. You got another Cannon Soldier in there, and you have the Hollow Life Bearers, another Wabaku. You have another enemy controller. So it looks like you're kind of all in a little bit, but you have some type of defense where you can install just enough to get all your stuff set up and hopefully go for the dub. No BLS at all. No Light Monsters, no Cranes, no none of that. So we're all in on the machine plan, and if it doesn't work, you're just going to have to scoop and go to game 2 and try. Hopefully it works the next time. And maybe this duelist it knows how to navigate those situations to get to the dubs. But huge shout out to you for your 4th place finish, and keep rocking, trust the gears, dude, and they will get you to where you need to be. Okay, moving on to number 3rd place, we have Christian Boischer. I can't read it, but it's there, and you're playing Chaos Control. Love to see it. You got a little Brick Factory Chaos Control. You got that Demock and that Premature Burial in there. That Creature Swap in there. You got double Scapegoat, double Meta in there with the card destruction. Rocking and rolling. Get that Demock to the GY. Premature back. Vibrate spectacularly. You got the Assure Priest is going to be in the main deck, fueling that Creature Swap. Love to see it. Chaos Control might be back. A lot of monsters, man. This thing has several opportunities to jam up, but it is what it is. In the side deck, you got this thing kind of spread out as well. You got the threatening roar. You have the damn trap does shoot. You have the ninja. What is this guy doing? The Sasuke Samurai. What is Sasuke Samurai doing in there? Maybe it's just a pet card. It's just your favorite card. You play your favorite card, and it will give you the power and strength required to push a deep run in the tournament. I believe that. You got the one of spell canceler as well. The one of Mobius. So just a lot of one ofs in your side deck. Just kind of hope you can draw it. These decks do kind of slow down a lot when you're getting bricked. You got to kind of unbrick yourself. So maybe it'll give you time to draw the card that you put in to kind of help you in whatever that matchup might be. But I like to see Chaos Control back, and I like to see Chaos Control win and do well. It's kind of been such a back and forth kind of thing. It's been so low. I like to see it have some type of success. But here's shout out to you, Christian, and keep rocking and rolling in the free world. And maybe you'll get the dub next time. I know there are going to be more tournaments in Germany, so maybe you can get out there and continue to play, or maybe you can come online and start playing. As we got second place, we got German DLS. I know this duelist plays online a little bit as well and has had some top performances in the past, and they're going to be rocking and rolling this Earth aggro strategy again. Kaiku seems to be becoming more standardized in this deck. I like to see the GK spies for those reasons I mentioned earlier. You're also playing Giant Trunade in the main deck, which I think is also quite good because this deck really doesn't care too much about card advantage. You're just trying to ensure that your attacks can get in. Think of it as a burn deck where the attacks are going to be your burn cards. You're just losing, you're trading your cards for life points in a certain sense. So if you're able to Giant Trunade, bounce back those Regeki breaks or bounce back those mirror forces or whatever, and then summon all your guys and then just swarm the field and attack for 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 damage in one turn, even if you burn 2 or 3 cards in the process, that's probably going to be high impact, high value for you in the long run. So I think that's really cool. Also in the side deck, you got the freaking Cybersteins in there too. You got the Wingoos coming in. You got another Kaiku, Branko, Jinzo, and then you have some Trap that shoots as well. You're on Decree. Decree and Gigantes, they never work for me either. Those are 2 cards I just will not play together. It just always ends bad for me. But maybe German DLS has done the research and the mathematics, and it never works bad for them. But it always ends up poorly for me. They'll summon Sork and just hack them and blow up all my stuff every single time that happens. But it's that's just my experience. Maybe they don't have that kind of experience, but still, I think it's really, really neat. And you have the Mind Cons to pair with these spies. Chef's kiss. Love to see it. Love to see it. Love to see it. Okay, Earth is back. Huge shout out to you, German DLS, for your top performance as well. And now we're going on to first place. We have Harold Rose. Harold Rose this time is going to be playing to win with the Chaos Turbo deck. Very standard, very regular. You got the one Book of Moon. You have the double spell canceler in there, which probably worked out great for all of the alt win type strategies, all the empty jar and Stein gates and reasoning gates that Germany had all over the place. And you have the GOAT meta stuff going to be in the side deck as well. So very cool stuff, very standard, very regular. I like to see the standardization of some of these decks coming online, or excuse me, coming IRL from online too. But I also like the creativity that these duels kind of demonstrate as well. So this was a very, very cool tournament. Again, huge shout out to the staff and everybody who made this thing pop off, because I thought it was really, really well ran, at least from the outside looking in and just watching the stream and being a part of it and just kind of seeing how everything was going. It seems so cool, man. And I love, hopefully that is something that is built upon for following seasons and going forward into the next dueling year. Okay, and the last event that we're going to talk about today, there are a couple more events that are still outstanding. I'm still waiting on a little bit more information. Today we hop back on the plane and fly all the way to my neck of the woods. We fly all the way to Goat Grand Prix in Seattle, the event that I hosted. Again, that event is going to be completely up and active on this channel. Go back and check out that vlog, that VOD in its entirety. You guys can go watch that whole stream. It was a fantastic event, and I gotta say, huge shout out to everybody who came to that tournament, man. It was spectacular from beginning to end. I had so much fun being on the scene with everyone being so respectful and kind and polite and patient and just waiting and just like helping me out, because we were severely understaffed for that one too. And it could have been a disaster, but if the community didn't come together and like make that thing work, it would have been terrible. So I got to give a huge special shout out to the good homie Bluetooth, man, for coming through, helping set up that stream, helping doing commentary. A big shout out to the duelist Xander, who came out, man, and like help being a TO and help being a staff and pushing that thing through, and Moxie's playing and judging and all that kind of stuff, and Wow Wink and Mrs. Wow Wink for the huge cool shirt and everything. And she came in, Wow Wink's wife comes in and starts doing some timekeeping and things like that and scorekeeping, man. So I thought it was dope that like I thought I could do it alone, but obviously I couldn't. And then people came in and like were able to help out, and it ended up being a great success. You guys never would know it. And also a huge shout out to Tabletop Village for supporting us and letting us come on in there and have that tournament in their space, man. It was really good energy, and it kind of reinvigorated me a little bit as we make our push to the end of this GOAT format dueling season. But with that, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about the top 8 deck lists from that tournament really quickly. As we got top 8, we got Travis Oak playing regular, standard, Chaos Turbo. No, we got Reaper in the main deck. Double cut a spy for a Reaper. Don't hate that. You got the book still in there, Card Destruction. Don't hate that, but you got those damn Necomani Kings. I'm so sick of seeing them. Get them out of here. It ain't 2005 no more. We need to get them Necomani Kings all the way up out of our side decks. It's not time for that. They're better cards to be played, and it's done. They're done. They're not doing enough. Solemn is better. Regeki Break is better. Necomani King, put him in the coffin, dude. He's finished. But it is what it is. So huge shout out to you, Travis, as your top 8. Maybe if those Necomani Kings had been another Solemn or another Regeki Break, you win the tournament. But you just didn't have them to go into because you have these dead-ass guards in your side. But whatever. It is what it is. But huge shout out to you, man. Top 8. It was a pleasure meeting you as well. Everyone here was so chill and so cool, man. I can't tell you enough about how much I care about the people in this community, and this is why I do it. This was a culmination of all of that. Okay, so moving on, we got Psychotic in here. Psychotic made it to top 8, was undefeated in Swiss, I believe, had a stellar Swiss run and went down to top 8 playing this Chaos Turbo deck, which is very cool. We got that Injection Fairy Lily is going to be in the main deck. You have the 1 Night Assailant and the 1 Spirit Reaper is also going to be in the main deck, and Minecon as well. I wonder how many times that Injection Fairy Lily just came down and just stole a game. I think that card is severely, tragically underplayed, and I like to see people experiment. Like I said, just trying stuff out. This is a tournament and you want to win, but still you kind of just try something out and it could have high impact. You pay Cyberstein, you know what I'm saying, and don't die, and now I can Injection Fairy Lily you probably for a dub. I can work a shot in there. Or, you know what I'm saying, you play a Solemn Judgment one time, Injection Fairy Lily and a pie is game. You know, you just lose. You just lose, you know, out of nowhere. You'll never in 1,000 years, game 1, you see someone flipping spies and doing faith and playing this whole turbo thing. In your mind, you already know what the hell is happening to you, and then boom, they just slam an Injection Fairy Lily out of nowhere, banish your card with Sork, and then attack you for game out of nowhere. And you're like, damn, I just lost, man. I never saw it coming. So I think that's really cool, and that's something that people should really consider maybe going with. I don't know. Maybe it might be ass. Maybe it might be good. Who knows? As you got the Ceasefire is going to be in the side deck as well. I think that's really cool stuff. Huge shout out to Psychotic, man. Thanks for coming out and playing. Straight legendary duelist. Been doing this thing for a long time, and I was glad to meet this duelist who was really chill in person as well. So nice stuff. Love to see it. Okay, moving on to top 8. We got another crazy concoction of the day from the duelist. Jeremy Glassman is playing this deck. Again, don't really know what to call it. Maybe we'll just call it a turbo deck. I suppose you can call it a turbo deck. But I did have the opportunity to interview this duelist after they had lost in the top 8. And I asked, what the hell? Like, what gives? Why did you make this deck this way? And he says, I don't play a lot of goats. And I just had these cards. And I put them in a deck and rocked with it. And I was like, fair enough. Right on. And it was good enough to get to the top 8. That's the thing about Ghosts, man. You just never know. If it's your day, it's your day. If you're rocking and rolling, you're rocking and rolling. And this duelist just so happened to be rocking and rolling to a top 8 finish playing. You count it. You count them. I count them. This is 27 monster cards in the main deck. You got a warrior situation going on in there. No Rhoda. We're going to put all the warriors in there. DD Warrior Lady, Exile Force. You know what I'm saying? That's it. You know what I'm saying? You got the Spirit Reaper. You got Genzo. You got Kaikus. You got the Tomatoes. You got the Spy. And the damn guard. Okay, you got Thunder Dragons. So how are you not bricking? Like, how are you able to put plays together? I don't understand it. Mathematically, I don't understand how that works. And then in the side deck, you got Blade Knight in there. You got Mobius Brain. You got triple Solemn Judgment and triple Trap Death Shoot. So this is the vibe. This is the energy that Jeremy Glassman was on. And it just happened to work out and get to a top 8 performance playing this strategy. But huge shout out to you. Keep playing goats. I mean, I know you don't. This duel personally said they don't play goats at all. They just heard about the tournament, grabbed some cards, came out here, thugged it out, and it worked out pretty cool. So I think that's dope. I love hearing those stories as well. Okay, moving on. We got the duelist Benjamin Dang playing the cat burn strategy, very severely underplayed strategy in Go Format. I say this every single time. I think this deck is back. I think it's time to release the cats. I think it's time to release the cat burn, especially when you got those Solemn Judgment. You can convert. Looks like they are converting a little bit. They still have floods, so they can kind of go into a more of a stall out kind of thing with the giant rats. You got the lava golem in there as well. I see golem. I'm lit. Love me some lava golem. And you got the solemn judgments. You have the double mine. You have the cyber jar. You have the kinetic soldier. You got some wombats in there. Damn, decks look cool. I think it's cool. I don't really know the mathematics. I don't know if you have enough targets. I think you do. You definitely have enough targets, but I don't know. Maybe you get some of those wombats in there. I don't know if you have enough damage output to come through. So I think you got to put some of these wombats in the main deck in order to have enough. I don't know the mathematics about it, but I don't know. Maybe Benjamin had more research and kind of felt maybe they can just grind it out enough to get to where they need to be with this version of the deck. But I think maybe more wombats probably need to go in or something just to have the numbers make more sense. But cool stuff, man. I like seeing it. Getting the dubs, that's all that matters. Top 8 is going to be pretty chill. Okay, moving on. We got Leopoldo playing the reasoning gate strategy. You're playing more of that grind gate that I was talking about in the Chicago portion of this video, which seemed like hours ago at this point. I know it's a super long video. I do apologize for that. But this is more of the grindy version. You got the scapegoats, you have the meta, and you can kind of slow it down a little bit, set up your play, and then hope for that OTK later on instead of just trying to bank on it turn 2, turn 3 kind of thing. You got the Air Knight in there so you can kind of play the situational stuff. You can play your Dimension Fusions not just as an overt winning card. You can just kind of play it as a positional card, get a plus here, plus there, get your DMOC back, grab a card, and just kind of grind it out instead of that push over the top. You have the Wing Blast going to be in the main deck as well. Interesting inclusion. Just help maybe set up your graveyard a little bit more because you do have card destruction, but you're not playing Upstart Goblin, and you have the Monster Incarnation in here too. So interesting stuff. So you do have some cards that can kind of shake your hand up a little bit and set your graveyard up a little bit. But Wing Blast, you just want to play that. Maybe you can set some tempo up on your opponent. In the side deck is where it kind of gets interesting because it looks like you can convert this thing into a goat control deck, which is very, very cool. So your opponent is probably going to be taking an Omen of Crossouts out against you for sure, and you can bring in 20,000 flip effect monsters, it looks like, and just play like a standard chaos control, go control type deck with no fear of Nobin to cross out, maybe even no fear of heavy storm, and that alone can just get some serious significant wins. So in game 1, if you can come out, get a quick dub with this reasoning gate stuff, game 2 convert to a standard, go control deck or chaos turbo deck or whatever, very light take all your RGT stuff out and put in either a go control stuff or a chaos turbo kind of thing. You can probably beat a lot of people with that because they're definitely going to have their knocks out on you, and they're probably not going to have their heavy storm in against you, and you're going to be at a little advantage there. So very cool strategy coming in from Leopoldo, and it probably powered them all the way to a top 4 finish, man. So love to see a little bit of creativity coming in as well. So moving on, we have the duelist Logan Johnson. Oh my goodness, I got to spend an hour talking about Logan Johnson here, but I got to be brief, man. Logan Johnson, aka McMariners, if you guys don't know, this duelist is a prolific IRL player. Okay, in the current game, playing in topping YCSs and almost qualifying for Worlds, and they got all the way to 3rd place in the World Qualifier twice, and then they did it again in this tournament. So they got 3rd place again, 1 win away from making it to the GOAT Format World Championship, just like they were 1 win away from making it to the actual World Championship. So that's just so frustrating and just so terrible. I would just retire from Yu-Gi-Oh! For a while, just take a little break and just rehomogenate. But still can't say enough about this duelist and about their chops, because clearly they know what the hell they're doing, because they're able to play the current game at a super high level and then just pick up a GOAT Format deck and make it all the way to the 3rd place. And this event was actually quite large as well. We had 80 duelists in the builders in this tournament, and just coming in and just knocking the cobwebs off and able to have a top 3 performance, I think is really, really awesome for Logan Johnson. All right, but keep playing, McMariners. Maybe you can come on back in and get to the World Championship. Still enough time. Just like all of you want to play, there's a lot of time left to make it to the GOAT Format World Championship. Okay, moving into 2nd place. We're going to trust more gears. We got more gears coming in, but C Spare is doing it in their own way, as you got Double Stein, you have Double Stein, DMOC, and freaking double Fusilier dual mode beast, and you're going to do it in this little situation here. I think it's really cool. This deck is super powerful. You got the Big Bang Shot in the main deck. Again, no BLS at all. I think that might be the standard how these Machine Gate players are doing it, because Sacred Crane is such a bad card, and you can't limit or removal it. It doesn't help you to your end game. So just cutting that stuff out. No BLS. Just kind of grind with what you got. Trust the gears enough, and it'll get to where you need to be. Kinetic Soldier, I think it's cool. It is a machine. Spell cancel is a machine, but you can't play limit remove on it. Tribe is really cool. All these cards are cool, man. You're just playing a lot of cool stuff, and it all kind of worked out for C-Spare, who was very, very close to getting the dub with this deck. And it almost worked out, but you were absolutely thwarted by our eventual winner, who is going to be Sevilla. Shout out to Sevilla, who comes in and takes the GOAT Grand Prix title and takes it back to Edward. I know this duel is very this duel does a lot of work for the Edison format community. Doesn't play too much GOATs, but I've gotten to know this duelist and got to talk to them a couple of times. We've been going to locals a lot and hanging out and stuff, and I know that they have been putting a lot of work in, playing a lot of GOAT format Yu-Gi-Oh! In preparation for this. But they just showed up playing this warrior strategy, and they piloted this thing all the way to victory. They do have a deck profile that they did on their channel, so make sure you guys go check that out, so they give you more information, more details about how they feel about this deck and some of the techniques that they had and some of the ideas that they went with. But it looks pretty standard for the most part. You got 15 monsters in here. You got the main deck, Zambara the Dark. You have the Magician of Faith is going to be in the main deck as well. You have the One Trap Does Shoot. Maybe that's a little layover from some Edison stuff. I know Edison, they have One Trap Does Shoot, and it works pretty well over there. Still very formidable card. So maybe you felt like in GOATs, you really don't need all these Trap Does Shoots because it's going to be dead a lot, and you rather just have other super busted cards. So you're just going to play the one of Trap Does Shoot. You are on triple solemns. If I'd have seen one Trap Does Shoot, one solemn, I'd have just laughed until oblivion because that'd have been really funny. But seeing him come in and get this dub, I think is really, really cool. In the side, they got a little bit of technique in there, a little bit of technology. You have the double snare, which is going to be in there. I mean, you just really hate Royal Decree, really hate enemy Jinzo, so double snare can take those things right out. I don't know how good that card is, but it's definitely the spice of life. You have the double Zinger is going to be in the side deck as well. I think that card is super slept on, especially IRL. A lot of people I see when you play Zing on them IRL, they'll just have to read it because they just don't know what the card does, because it's such a and it's a backbreaker too, especially when you go first set Zing, they set 2 into it, you Zing them up, and you're pretty much going to win that game most of the time. You also have Jinzo is going to be your side deck as well, and the damn Goblin Attack Force is also going to be in the side deck. Double Book of Moon and Assure Priest. But again, I've gotten to know this duelist very well. I think they're super awesome person, super wholesome person, man. Still couldn't have happened to a better person. I know how hard they've been working to get this dub and showing their dueling skills and how these things can be universal no matter what format you guys play. So I know this video is super duper long. Huge shout out to everyone who participated in all these events. I know this video is incredibly long. If you've been rocking and rolling with the program, thank you guys for doing that. As I just want to quickly go over these deck lists. So make sure you guys get into the comments section and let me know what deck was your favorite, what event was your favorite, and are you going to play in some GOAT Grand Prix? And I hope to see you guys all around the circuit as the season is coming to a close. We will be ending the season in October. There's still plenty of events to play. Make sure you guys check the events tab, and we will get those things out, and I'll have these deck lists up on the website as soon as I can. Well, duelists, that's all I have. As always, I'm JDZ. I play GOATs. Until the next time, shout out to all the real ones. Salute to the OGs. Peace.